2 Peter chapter 2. Egenon to de kai pseudopropertai entoi laoi. And also false prophets became among the people. Hos kai en humin esontai pseudodidaskaloi. As also among you there shall be false teachers. Hoitines paresaxusin haireses apoleas, who shall stealthily introduce heresies of destruction. Kaiton agora santa autus despoten arnumenoi. And the master, having bought them, they shall be denying. Epagontes heautois takinen apolean, bringing upon themselves a swift destruction. Kai polloi exakolutersusin auton, and many shall follow after them, shall go out following after them. Tais aselgeais, in the sensualities, dihus her hodostes alerteas plus permertersetai, through whom the way of the truth shall be blasphemed. Kai en pleonexiae, blastois logois humas emporeusontai, and in covetousness with fabricated words they shall make merchandise of you. Hois to krima ekpalai ukarge, to whom the judgment is of long ago, not idle, is not being idle, which is of long ago. Kai her apolea auton unustadze, and the destruction of them is not sleeping. Egar hoteos angelon, hamarate santon, uke piesato, alla seras, zopu, taratarosas, paredoken, escrisin terumenus. For if the God of the angels having sinned, the God did not spare, but in chains of darkness, having tartarized them, or imprisoned in Tartarus, paredoken, he delivered into a judgment having been kept. Into a judgment being kept into a judgment. Kai arkaiu kosmu uke pesato. And the ancient world he did not spare, alla ogdoon, but only 8. Noe, dikaiosynes, göruka, epulaxen. He preserved Noah, a righteous herald, a herald of righteousness. Kataklysmon kosmoia asebon epaxas, having brought in a flood on the world of the ungodly ones. Kai poles Sodomon, kai Gomorras, Deprosas, and cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, having made ash, having reduced to ashes, katastropöi, katekrinen, he condemned to destruction. Hypodegma melonton asebesin tetekos, having set an example of things coming to the ungodly ones. Kai dikaion Lot, and righteous Lot, kata ponumenon hypotes ton atesmon enaselgeai anastropes erysato. And righteous Lot he rescued. Lot, being distressed by the lawless conduct in sensuality. Plemmati gar kai akoöye hodikaios, for the righteous one, in seeing and in hearing. En katoikon en autois hermeran ex hermeras, dwelling among them day out of day. Psykön dikaian anomois ergois ebasanidzen, was being tormented. His righteous soul was being tormented with lawless works. Oiden gyrion eusebes ek perasmu ruestai. Lord Yahweh hath known to be delivering the godly out of testing or temptation. Adicus de es hermeran chryseos kolazomenus de ren, but to be keeping unrighteous ones into a day of judgment, being punished. To keep unrighteous ones being punished into a day of judgment. Now that's interesting. Twice already in this chapter, it's showing how that God is keeping beings punished, unrighteous beings. He is keeping them punished unto a day of judgment. That is, there's coming a day of judgment, and they are already being punished as they wait for it. Take heed, take heed. Malista de tus opiso sarkos en epitumiai, miasmu poreuomenus kai curiotetos kata pronuntas, and especially the ones after flesh in passion of defilement, walking. The ones walking after the flesh in passion of defilement and despising authority. Dolmertai, autades doxas utremusin blaspermuntes. Bold ones, self-willed, not trembling they are not trembling whilst blaspheming glorious ones. Hopu angeloi iskui kai dyname mezones ontes, whereas messengers or angels, being greater by strength and by power, uperusin katauton parakurioi blaspermon krisin, are not bringing against them before Lord Yahweh a blasphemous judgment. Huutoide, but these hosalogazoya, as irrational animals, gegenemena pusika es halosin kai ptoran, having been begotten as natural creatures into chain and destruction. And hois agnousin, among what things they are ignorant. They are being ignorant, plus permuntes, blaspheming, and they ptorai auton, kai ptaresontai. In their destruction also they shall be destroyed. Adikumenoi miston adikias. The wage of unrighteousness, suffering wrong. Herdonen, hergumenoi. Den en hermerai, drupen. Esteeming the luxurious living in the day as pleasure. Spiloi kai mormoi, blots and blemishes, and drupontes, and dice apatais auton, reveling in their deceptions. Suneuo kumenoi humin, feasting with you, feasting together with you. Optalmu secontes mestus moi kalidos, having eyes full of an adulteress. Kai akatapaustus, hamaratias, and unceasing of sin. Deleazontes psychas asterictus, enticing unstable souls, unestablished souls. Gardian gegymnasmenen pleonexia secontes, having a heart, having been trained in craving or covetousness. Kataras tekna, cursed children, children of curse. Katalipontes eutean hodon, having left a straight way. Eplanertersan, they have gone astray. They have been strayed. Exakolutersantes te hodoi tu balaam, tu bosor, hos mistonadikias ergapersen. They have gone out following in the way of Balaam, the son of Beor, who loved a wage of unrighteousness. Elengsin de esken, idias, paranomias, hypodzygion, aponon. But he had a reproof for his own transgression. A donkey or beast of burden, a mute donkey, en anthropu ponei ptenxamenon, having spoken in a voice of man. Ekolusen turn tu propertu parapronian. It restrained the madness of the prophet. Hu toiesin pergai anudroi kai homiklai hypolailapos elaunomenoi, elaunomenai. These are waterless springs and mists by a storm wind being driven. Hois hodzopos, tu scotus teteretai, for whom the gloom of the darkness hath been reserved. Hyperonkagar mataiotetos ptengomenoi, for arrogant ones of vanity they are speaking. Deleazusin en epitumiais sarkos aselgeais tus oligos apopeugontas tus en planei en anastrepomenus. For arrogant ones of vanity, speaking arrogant things of vanity, they are enticing in desires, the flesh of sensuality, of those barely escaping the ones living in error. There are ones living in error, the world, and there are those who are barely escaping, and these false teachers are coming along and enticing them into sin, telling them it's all right to disregard God's commands. Eleuterian autois evangelomenoi, promising to them freedom, autoi douloi hyparkontes tes ptoras, but they themselves are being bondservants of the corruption. Hoi gartis hötetai, tuutoikai dedulotai, for to what one hath been subdued, to this also he hath been enslaved. Egar apopygontes ta miasmata tus cosmu, tu cosmu en epignose tu kyriu kai soteros Jesu Christu, tu tois te palin emplacentes hötontai. Kegonen autois ta eskata keronaton proton. For if, having escaped the pollutions of the world by the knowledge of the Lord and Saviour Yeshua anointed, in these again also, having been entangled, they are subdued or made less, it hath become to them the latter things worse than the former things. Kreton gar autois, me epegno kenaitön hodon ters dikaiosynes, for it had been being better for them not to have learnt or known the way of the righteousness, epignusin, hypostrepsai ectes paradotes sautois hagias centolus, rather than having learnt to turn out of the holy command having been delivered to them. Symbeböken autois, totes alertus paroimias. The proverb, The true proverb hath happened to them. Guon epistrepsas epito idion exeramma. A dog having returned upon its own vomit. Gai hus lusameners lusamener esculismon boroboru. And a sow having washed into its rolling place of mire.